Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June 24th. Edwin Diaz gets suspended for sticky stuff. Orelvis Martinez, a PED suspension, and much more. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? What a weekend for me. Spent in Cleveland watching one of the Guardians games. Guardians and Blue Jays, of course. We'll be talking about that. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had wonderful weekends. Got out to some baseball games if you could in your respective areas. And yeah, we got a little bit of a bittersweet episode here. A lot of some negative things to be talking about. Some troublesome players and some unfortunate injuries. So that will all come in due time. But for now, let's kick things off with our series recap. Leading us off, we have the Braves and the Yankees. What a series this could have been. The Braves take the first game 8-1. Yankees bounce back, win it 8-3. And for the other match, it falls the Braves' way. They take 2 of 3 against the Yankees, win that last game 3-1. Now we head to Cleveland. Blue Jays and the Guardians. The game I was at was the second game. First game, though, Guardians run away with it. A 7-run inning, 7-1. Your final there. Second game, this is the one I went to. 7 home runs were hit as the Guardians once again beat the Blue Jays 6-3. And in the last game, it was another close one. Steven Kwan hits 2 home runs in the series. But the Guardians come over with the sweep. They beat the Blue Jays 6-5. White Sox and Tigers. Tigers get a little sandwich for their series. 2-1 in the first game. Beat the White Sox 11-2 in the last game, but did not get the sweep as the White Sox took the second game. They beat them 5-1 in that one. Tigers, though, take 2 of 3. Royals and Rangers. This was a big series for Texas and a bigger one even for the Royals. The Rangers take game 1 6-2. Take game 2 6-0, and with Max Scherzer making his season debut on Sunday, they get the sweep and beat the Royals 4-0. A big series for the Rangers, and one that the Royals need to bounce back on this weekend, because that was definitely no bueno. As one of their rivals, the Twins, were taking on the A's. A's got the first game 6-5, but then the Twins battled back in games 2 and 3. Twins take it 10-2 in game 2, and then 3-0 your final in the series. Twins take 2 of 3 against the A's and get those games up on the Royals. The Oilers and the Astros now. What an amazing first game. Astros score 9 runs in the 6th inning. They have a huge lead. Baltimore scores 7 runs in an inning late to try to catch up. Astros hold on, win it 14-11. They then take the second game 5-1, and then looking for the sweep against one of the best teams in the AL, they find it. The Astros get a sweep. Both Texas teams sweeping this week. Beat the O's 8-1 in the final game there. Mariners and Marlins, with the Astros and Texas both sweeping. Mariners need to respawn, and they would have a tough time in the first game and lose it as the Marlins get a 3rd straight walk-off. Tim Anderson, the base hit, walks it off for the Marlins 3 straight games. They win it 3-0. Then with Logan Gilbert shoving on the mound, the Mariners bounce back and get the equalizer 9-0. But in that series final, it's the Marlins that take it 6-4 and beat the Mariners 2 of 3 in the series. That is not good for the Mariners, but great news for the Astros and Rangers. We head now to the NL side of things. D-backs and Phillies, your NLCS rematch of last year. The D-backs take the first game 5-4, but the Phillies answer back in the last 2 games, 12-1 in game 2 and then 4-1 in game 3. Phillies take 2 of 3 against the D-backs and are now once again the best team in baseball with the best record. Mets and Cubs now. Shota Imanaga gets rocked once again. The Mets in their grimace era, they take the first game 11-1. Cubs do bounce back in game 2, take it 8-1, but in the rematch things will fall the Mets' way as the Mets take 2 of 3 in the series from the Cubs and win the last game 5-2. Rays and Pirates now. The Rays get a little sandwich action on here. They take the first and third game of the series. They win the first game 10-3 and the third game 3-1. That was off of Paul Skeens in that one. And then 4-3 Pirates in the second game to win it and avoid the sweep. Rays take 2 of 3 against Pittsburgh. The Reds clash with the Red Sox. Red Sox in Cincinnati taking on the Reds, and the Reds take that first game 5-2. How many times am I going to say Reds in this little segment here? Red Sox bounce back in game 2, win it 4-3, and in the final game of the series, the Red Sox once again battle hard against the Reds. Beat off of Lodolo, they take it 7-4. Your final, Red Sox take 2 of 3 from Cincinnati. Giants and Cardinals. They would start this series on Thursday with the Rick Ward Field game. What a game that was. The broadcast in the 5th inning, absolutely stunning. Cardinals take that game 6-5. They travel back to St. Louis to finish up the 3-game set in St. Louis. 9-4 Cardinals win it. 5-3 Cardinals win it. They sweep the Giants. Big series for the Cardinals, with that NL wild card being as close as things can get right now. Brewers and Padres, they played 4. The Padres take the first game 7-6 on a Cronenworth walk-off home run. They were in the lead the whole time. Brewers caught up in the top of the 9th, scoring 2 runs to tie it, but it didn't matter. Cronenworth's home run wins it for the Padres, and they would carry that momentum into the weekend. They beat the Brewers 9-5 in the second game, and then once again 6-4 on Saturday. Could they complete the 4-game sweep? They could not. The Brewers hold off the Padres, salvage the series. They beat them 6-2, but still a huge series for San Diego, taking 3 of 4 from the NL Central best team Brewers, as they head now into another, hopeful series and continuing to stay hot. Nationals and Rockies. Now the Nationals came out swinging in the first game 11-5, but then in the second game we had the walk-off we had been waiting for. The Rockies take it 8-7. They walk it off on, guess what? A pitch clock violation that scores the winning run. Absolute insanity. Rockies take that one. Rubber match though, the Nationals hold off the Rockies in a intense low-scoring game. Nationals take it 2-1 and take 2 of 3 from the Rockies in this series there. Last but not least, the LA clash off, the Angels and the Dodgers. The first time Shohei Ohtani in a Major League game faces off against his Los Angeles Angels, or his used-to-be Los Angeles Angels. And of course, he was going to homer off of them, but it didn't matter. It took 10 innings, but the Angels get the win against the Dodgers. They snap a 10-game losing streak against them and win that game 3-2. And it was only a 2-game series. So the other game, the Dodgers came out swinging early and they held the Angels. They win it 7-2. They split the 2-game set, 1 each for each LA team. All right, now let's take a look at the game of the weekend, or potentially games, because I want to shout out that Rick Wood game on Thursday between the Cardinals and the Giants. What an amazing game that was. Brendan Donovan, he homered in the first. Heliot Ramos, a 3-run home run to tie it in the third. Brendan Donovan, the hero, though, 3 for 4 in the game, a home run, a double, 3 RBIs as the Cardinals take it. An absolute great game there. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Go through a couple of the innings, especially with, Willie Mays, his passing, he always wanted to play on that field and did so in his career. First time in a long time since baseball was played on that field. But top of the 5th, they went back to the 1954 broadcast. They had a nice gray TV, the old behind home plate camera angle. It was definitely a very cool inning to watch, so definitely check out that top of the 5th, but also some of the other points in the game if you missed it. But for game of the week, and a lot of good games, but I want to highlight Progressive Field. I want to highlight the game I went to on Saturday. Top of the second, Davis Schneider hits his 10th home run of the year, gets the Blue Jays going. Then Bo Naylor homers on his brother's birthday, Josh Naylor. That made it 2-1 Cleveland. IKF, he homers his 5th of the year. Jose Ramirez, he homers another 2-run shot. Cleveland in the driving seat. Stephen Kwan, he cannot be stopped. His 6th sixth home run of the year, 5-2. Then it's Daniel Schienemann's second MLB home run that made it 6-2. And then IKF, he had his second home run of the game. A total of 7 home runs between both teams. Very cool experience. Loved Progressive Field. Guardians took this one 6-3. Your final, your games of the weekend. All right, let's dive into the baseball news from the weekend here. And we're going to start with the big one in my mind. Edwin Diaz came in for the save on Sunday's game against the Cubs. Luis Severino, a great game there. 10 strikeouts for him. Comes in for the save and doesn't get a chance because he gets ejected for the foreign substance rule. We haven't seen this a whole lot. It was introduced in 2021 when they started checking pitchers for those foreign substances. We've seen a couple of big names, Max Scherzer being the biggest one, and we've seen 8 players to do so. We've seen 7. Edwin Diaz now makes it the 8th. And the third New York Met. There was Max Scherzer, Drew Smith, and now Edwin Diaz. No other team even had 2, and the Mets have 3. So you have to wonder if there is anything there. Edwin Diaz, his quotes after the game, he uses the same thing always. I don't know exactly if it was too much than usual, what it was, but the umpires deemed it sicky, and he was ejected from the game and will be serving a 10-game suspension as a result. I don't make much of this as a whole. We've seen this before. We've seen it with Max Scherzer. Obviously, when a guy like Max Scherzer had it, happen to him, you have to start taking things with a grain of salt because obviously Scherzer is no mean shape or form doing anything that is wrong or in that demeanor. You have to wonder, Edwin Diaz, he's had a really struggling season. Maybe added a little bit extra for a little bit, more control, more spin on the night, and will find himself sitting on the bench for the next 10 games here for the Mets. So something to keep in mind here. Don't know if we'll see any of these as we go throughout the year here, but definitely something to keep out for. And Edwin Diaz, obviously, with the Mets playing as good as they are, they have something else loom over their heads to keep them being the Mets. But we'll see how this will affect how the Mets have been playing because, Grimace's first pitch has turned them into a really hot team, and they're only getting hotter right now, it seems like. So we'll have to keep an eye out there for New York. Moving on here. We have Orelvis Martinez getting busted with a PED suspension. Now this is kind of funny in my mind. Bo Bichette got hurt last week, got placed on the IL. The Blue Jays called up their number 2 prospect, Orelvis Martinez. Took him about 3 or 4 games to get into a game, but he made his major league debut Friday against the Guardians. Did not play Saturday, and then Sunday morning the news came out that he had been busted for a PED suspension. He took and kind of made a claim, or was talking about it in a written article here, I guess. Basically saying that he has been trying to start a family with his girlfriend. They were visiting clinics and everything, and was prescribed a treatment, which included a medication called Rejune 50. I'm apologizing if I pronounced that wrong. And that contains the banned substance that is called, I'm going to butcher this one, clomphene. And obviously wanted to keep the matter private. When asked to the doctors if it was going to, if it was illegal, it was anything performance enhancing, they declined, said no, it wasn't. And then he made the mistake. He said that he made the mistake not disclosing this to his team or the MLBPA, the Player Association. It takes full responsibility for the actions and accepts the suspension, and apologized, of course, to his teammates both in Buffalo and the Toronto Blue Jays. And he's excited to be back in September. Obviously, it's not how we've seen the PED suspension happen before. We've seen players actually abuse this and try to get away with it. It just seemed like he is a young kid. obviously made the mistake. He has owned up to it in a way, and will just serve his 80-game suspension and hopefully find his way back onto the team. I'm not sure if he'll be with the Blue Jays, but potentially probably back with Buffalo, and we'll see what happens with him going forward, the young prospect, the young kid. And in my mind, at the beginning of the season, we had one of these with another young kid, Orelvis Martinez from the Reds. That one, I feel like there wasn't much, ownership of the situation. Orelvis kind of just took it and kind of ducked away. And honestly, we're probably getting close to his return into what could be the major leagues. I'm not sure what the Reds are going to do with him. But this one, seeing Martinez, like, in a matter of moments, already be on Instagram, be on socials, talking about what had happened, why it had happened, and accepting kind of the incident. I think it's a good sign for a young kid and show some maturity there. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see and make out of it what happens when he does return. How much was he being enhanced by the substance to really elevate his game? Of course, he is a power hitter, so I got to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. But I just wanted to shed some light onto that matter. As we move now to a trade, J.D. Davis is heading to the New York Yankees. Very interesting stuff here from the New York Yankees. Of course, they've had a couple of injuries over the last little bit here. The A's are getting prospect Jordan Groshans from the Yankees. J.D. Davis, we talked about, at the beginning of the season, did he have a team? He got cut by the Giants, ended up with Oakland, and he's put together an okay season. Nothing to, spark the radar over. In 39 games, he has 29 hits, 4 home runs, 5 RBIs, 236 batting average, a 670 OPS. So really nothing super amazing, nothing like his numbers when he was with the Mets at the beginning of COVID, during COVID. Giants in 2022 put up good numbers. But yeah, the third baseman will be heading to New York and find his way onto the major league team. I'm guessing to be used as the third baseman, probably as more of a bench bat even. But yeah, Yankees doing something, trying to elevate their team, trying to get a little bit better. I think that's good for them. And Oakland, of course, will be selling as much pieces as they can as we approach this trade deadline here. So, things to keep in mind. We'll be doing a trade deadline talk potentially soon to look over some of the teams that could be buying, selling, and which players might be those who are being bought or sold as we head into the trade deadline. In other news of baseball, let's talk Christopher Sanchez with your Philadelphia Phillies. He has received a nice 4-year suspension. Not suspension. Whoa, all the suspension talk. An extension. Christopher Sanchez has been an absolute star in that Phillies rotation. He, Ranger Suarez, Zach Wheeler, of course, Aaron Nola is still there. It's been phenomenal to see for him. The 27-year-old has done a great job in his year here. A 2.67 ERA in 15 games. He's a 5-3 record. 70 strikeouts, 24 walks, not bad. Has only given up 1 home run. Last year, he gave up 16 home runs in 19 games. He is at 15 games, and he's only given up 1. He's had a huge turnaround from last year to this year even. Last year's ERA 3.44 to be at 2.67 here at this point of the season in 15 games, pretty much the halfway point of the season. He's been absolutely phenomenal. He has earned that 4-year suspension. Haven't seen anything about prices, how much it is worth, but there is options in it. So we'll have to take a look at that contract once we get more information on it. But Christopher Sanchez does get a 4-year extension by the Phillies. Dodgers debuted their City Connect on Saturday, I believe. Their second one, of course. Like I said, still better than their first one. Definitely don't like it. It was weird seeing, it's an interesting jersey. if you're an LA Dodger fan, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like your New Jersey, and I hope it means something for your city, because that's what the City Connects are all about. You don't need everyone to like it, as long as you like your favorite teams and you support your city and it means something to you. That's what matters there. And the last bit of news here, Ahmed Rosario, Tampa Bay Rays, he was in a game. Jared Jones, I believe this was Saturday, he took a 100-mile-an-hour fastball pitch to the face and went down in a heap. Jose Siri ran over, called the trainer, and after dealing with that scary situation, he did walk off. He seemed and appeared to be okay, and from everything I've seen, he will be, but definitely will be taking a little bit of time there to heal up from that scary situation. So keep that in mind for Tampa Bay Rays fans going forward, and all the best for Ahmed Rosario as he does what he needs to do to recover from that, because that is definitely an extremely scary situation. Moving on now, let's dive into the hot and colds for the week here. No one is as hotter. Shohei Ohtani, 8 for 19 with 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, 6 runs, 5 walks, and a 1.647 OPS. He had a phenomenal week, as did Spencer Horwitz from your Blue Jays, 6 for 14, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, 3 runs, 5 walks, and how about no strikeouts for a whole week, a 1.508 OPS for him. Bryce Harper, 10 for 21, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, 6 runs, a 1.500 OPS. Francisco Alvarez with the Mets, he's been popping off, 8 for 17, 3 doubles, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 2 runs, 4 walks, and a 1.571 OPS. And rounding things off, Nick Castellanos from your Phillies, 9 for 19, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, 3 runs, a 1.371 OPS. Flipping now to the cold side of the pillow, Heliot Ramos, 1 for 22 with 7 strikeouts. That one, of course, was a home run, though, but still, he's been putting up great numbers for the Giants, but this has been a tougher week for him. Eugenio Suarez, 1 for 18 with 8 Ks for him. Nolan Gorman, 1 for 18 with 9 Ks. Will Benson, 0 for 11, 6 Ks, and then Orlando Arcia from your Braves, 1 for 17 with 6 Ks. That is your hot and cold. Okay, now we have our injury updates from the weekend here. Giancarlo Stanton from your Yankees, he ends up on the IL with a strained hamstring. Luis Campusano, a thumb contusion, lands himself on the IL. Mike Yastrzemski from your Giants, a strained oblique. Braxton Garrett, your Marlins, a strained forearm flexor. David Bednar from your Pirates, a strained oblique. Jesus Luzardo, lumbar stress reaction. He lands himself on the IL from the Marlins. Walker Buehler, we have more information. Of course, it was hit with the line drive. It is hip discomfort. He ends up on the IL for the second time this season. And then Charlie Blackmon rounds off this list here. Strained hamstring for him. All those guys end up on the IL. Some bad news there for some of them. And hopefully a small 10-day, 15-day stint on the IL will help them be back and playing baseball, the game that we all love. So all the best for them on the recovery there. Outstanding performances, and we've got some outstanding ones to say the least this weekend. Jose Quintana from your Mets, 6.1 innings pitched, 4 hits and no earned runs, a walk and 8 Ks. Drew Thorpe from your White Sox, surprise, surprise, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 4 walks, 5 Ks. Jamison Tyone, what a start from him. 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, an earned run, no walks, 10 strikeouts for the big man. John Gray against the Royals, 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks, a good sign there for the Rangers. Zach Wheeler, a stud, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, an earned run, no walk, 8 Ks. Logan Gilbert, 8 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks. If the Mariners want a fighting chance, Logan Gilbert is at his best as usual. Bailey Ober gets a complete game, 9 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 10 strikeouts for him. A great appearance against the A's. Tyler Glasnow, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 10 Ks. He was phenomenal. Christopher Sanchez, of course, received that extension, and here's why. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 4 Ks, another gem from him. Paul Skeens, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 8 Ks. Sonny Gray with a great start, 1 hit throughout 7 innings of work, an earned run, that home run, no walks, and 8 Ks for him. Phenomenal there. Max Scherzer's season debut, 5 innings pitched, 1 hit allowed, no earned runs, no walks, and 4 Ks. So some great stuff there as he tied Greg Maddux for the all-time strikeout league there. Framber Valdez, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Luis Severino, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 10 strikeouts. And then lastly, how about Pablo Lopez? What a job. 8 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 14 strikeouts for Pablo Lopez. An absolute gem of an appearance for him. That is your outstanding performances. As we now move on to the standings check, taking a look at the teams right now. AL East, it is still your New York Yankees, 52-28. They're a game and a half above Baltimore, but these two teams haven't looked great. Yankees 3-7 in their last 10. Baltimore 4-6. They just got swept by the Astros. Not good there. The Red Sox, though, hot as you can be. 8-2 in their last 10, 42-36. They now hold the third wild card seed. The Rays 38-40 in fourth, and the Blue Jays on a 6-game losing streak. Things are not looking good for Toronto. They're 35-42, 6.5 back of the wild card, and time is running out for them before they become sellers for sure. AL Central, your Guardians are hot. 5 straight wins for them. 49-26. They still hold the AL Central. 7.5 back of the Twins, who are 7-3 in their last 10. 43-35 on the year. They moved past the Royals, who got swept by the Rangers. They lost 3 straight. Not only are they now third in the division, but they're also half a game back of the wild card. 42-37 for them. And then the Tigers, 36-41. White Sox rounded out in the bottom there. AL West, something to keep an eye out for, those Astros and those Rangers. Mariners hold the division still 45-35, 6 games above the Astros, 6.5 on the Rangers. Astros 7-3 in their last 10. They are on a 5-game winning streak. The Rangers are on a 4-game winning streak. We have to see what's going on there between those two teams, because one, if not both, can be back in this race sooner than you think. Angels and Oakland round out that division there. NL East, your Phillies not only have the best team in the NL East, they have the best record in baseball. They've won 2 straight, 5-5 in the last 10, 51-26 on the year. They've been great. Braves 43-32, still good. They've been 8-2 in their last 10, so they've been playing really well as of late, but still need to track 7 games back of those Phillies. Nationals, Mets, Marlins round off the East there. Your NL Central, still a bit of a mess. The Brewers hold on to it, though, 45-33. Cardinals, though, a big weekend for them, 39-37. Now 2 games above 500. 5 games back of the Brewers, and 7-3 in their last 10. A 3-game winning streak for them. Pirates, Cubs, and Reds rounded out. Pirates 37-40. Cubs 37-41. Reds 36-41. So they're all about half a game back of each other there. And then in your NL West, your Dodgers still hold it 48-31. Padres, though, a little bit on their tail, 8.5 back, 41-41, specifically at 500. Diamondbacks 2 games under 500 at 38-40. Giants 36-42. They've lost 5 straight, and things are starting to slip away from San Francisco. Rockies rounded off there. That was your standings check as we now look towards the upcoming series for the week coming up here. And taking a look at that, the Guardians and the O's start a series. This is a fun one. The second and first best teams, essentially, second and third. The Yankees are first in the AL. But definitely a good series there to watch. Blue Jays and Red Sox, Mariners and Rays. That could be a fun one for Seattle. We got the Phillies at the Tigers, Dodgers at White Sox, Marlins at Royals. That's a big one for the Royals because they need to right themselves quick. They got shut out back-to-back games against the Rangers. They need to get things rolling again. Rockies at Astros. Good one for the Astros to keep up their winning ways after sweeping the O's. A's at Angels. Yankees at Mets. The Subway Series. The New York teams face off. Braves and Cardinals, Pirates at Reds, Rangers at Brewers, Cubs at Giants, and Nationals at Padres, and we round things off with the Twins and the D-backs. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. I appreciate you all. A week of baseball upcoming. We're almost done at the month of June, which means the dog days are here. The All-Star game fast approaching. We enter pretty much the halfway point of the season. 3 months almost done. 3 months still to go before some baseball postseason. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening to today's episode, and I will see you on Friday.